Hi folks, Hugo Rivera here with HugoRivera.net, and today I have my good friend Rodzilla over here, and we're going to answer some of your questions. Rod, what question do you have, man?
A lot of people's been wanting to know how much protein does it take for you to build muscle?
Ah, yeah, the protein question, right? Yeah, that's a hugely debated topic, because if you go to like a typical nutritionist may tell you that you need as little as 60 grams a day, okay? But that's not the case, as you and I both know. I mean, the key thing is that a lot of recent research indicates the amount of protein an athlete needs, like us, is much higher than for the average person. So,
a lot higher.
You know, if the person is a couch potato, they could get away with 60 grams of protein, that's fine, okay? But if a person is working out hard at the gym,
very active.
Yeah, very active, then they need way more protein than that, you know. And typically, here's the recommendation, and it's based on a couple of things. It's based on activity levels, and it's based also on the body type, okay? So basically, what I recommend people is that if they're training 3 times a week, okay, only, then 0.8 grams of protein times their body weight is going to give them a pretty decent amount of protein, okay? When I say times their body weight, that really applies more to people that are pretty lean, okay? So if it's a guy that is at 10% body fat, or a lady that is at, say, 15% body fat, then times the body weight is probably okay. All right, so a person like you, obviously, you know, if you only train 3 times a week, I would say, you know, times your body weight, because you don't have that much body fat. Yeah. You know, your body fat level is at 6% at the most. Yeah. So times body weight is fine. If you have more body fat than that, then I would say calculate or do a rough estimate of how much your body fat percentage is, and take that off. And that will give you your lean body mass, okay? So what you would do then is that, okay, say that you weigh 200 pounds and you have 20% body fat approximately. That comes out to be around 40 pounds of fat, okay? So you take the 200 minus the 40 pounds of fat, that gives you 160. 160 is your lean body mass, all right? And that's the number that I want you to use when you multiply times the 0.8, okay? Now, if you train more than 3 times a week, I suggest that you definitely do 1 gram per pound of body weight, all right? And if you're training, you know, say that you're doing 6 days a week of training, and you're also doing cardio on top of that, I would up it to as much as 1.5. Wow. Okay, 1.5 times the body weight if your body fat levels are below 10% for guys and below 15% for women, and you know, and times the lean body mass if your body fat levels are a little bit higher, okay? And like I said, the calculation of lean body mass is basically your total body weight minus your fat-free weight, okay? And to calculate the fat-free weight, you just basically need to know an approximation of where your body fat percentage is. And with that, you know, to calculate your body fat percentage, there's a few tools. You know, you could use some calipers. That's probably the best tool. You could use the impedance machine, but that may be really off. Yeah, the problem there is that if you have muscle, like we do, it may give you a completely messed up result, okay?
So you 16 one day.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. I mean, I basically came up with like 20% one time. I threw it. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I don't use the impedance machine, to be honest. I think it only works for beginners that have a normal amount of muscle mass. But then the minute you start gaining muscle, the machine doesn't take that into calculation too well. So, you know. But anyways, that's the kind of protein that you should be taking in. The best way to consume protein, it's going to be from whole foods, okay? So try to at least have a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner. For breakfast, I typically have, you know, in terms of protein, I have like egg whites, and I also have some real, you know, organic whole eggs.
Yeah, the same thing as well.
Yeah, I like to put in 1 or 2 whole eggs and then like 9 egg whites. The egg whites I use are from this company that makes these nice cartons called egg whites. Okay, all whites I think it's called. And then I just go ahead and toss. It's almost like 2 cups of it. Makes up for like 9 egg whites, and then I go ahead and put the.
And how many protein? How many grams will they give you?
That's a great question. That comes out to around 45 grams of protein. Okay. So 9 egg whites and 2 whole eggs, that's like around 45 to 50 grams of protein.
Which is plenty.
Yes, more than enough. I typically, and that's a great question too, I typically don't like to go above 45 grams of protein per meal. It gets me kind of like all bloated and stuff. You know, some people can eat slightly more, but on the average,
around 50.
Yeah, I mean, a big guy like you can definitely take as much like that. Typically what I see is that between 35 to 50 grams is about as much protein as you can consume in one sitting, with a few exceptions. You know, there are people that are pretty big and they can eat as much as 60, 70 grams of protein and they can deal with it. But me, you, and then many other bodybuilders that I know, for the most part, you know, it's anywhere between, you know, that range of between 35 to 50.
Yeah, sounds pretty good.
Where you can actually assimilate. The other thing too is that you want to have the protein every like 3-hour intervals. Okay, so what I like to do is that I'll have my breakfast and then, you know, 2 hours or 3 hours later you can have a protein shake. Protein shakes, you know, we love the Pro V60 from Labrada. That's awesome. A scoop and a half of that stuff that gives you 45 grams of protein.
I usually use about 2 scoops.
Yeah, 2 scoops. Yeah, that will be 60 grams.
Right.
Exactly. That gives you like 60 grams. 2 scoops gives you 60 grams of protein from like different sources. You know, from like milk, from egg, from whey protein. So you have your fast release proteins and you have your slow release. Right. Which is one of the reasons I like it. So it makes it perfect for like in between meals. So you can have that. And then a couple of hours later you have your lunch. For lunch proteins, you know, you can have like lean chicken. You can have lean red meats too. You know, as long as they're lean.
What about fish?
Fish is great. You know, fish especially, you know, like mahi-mahi and tilapia. Those are great fish. Salmon is an awesome fish to have. And you also get the good essential fats as well with the salmon. So salmon is a great source. You can have turkey. Turkey makes me a little bit drowsy. It's a little bit high on tryptophan. But it's a good source also of protein as well. So yeah, and you know what? Some people have asked me, can I eat egg whites for lunch? Yeah, of course you can. Yeah. It's not normal, right? Most people don't eat egg whites at lunchtime.
It's convenient.
You can eat it. Yeah, it's convenient. Super convenient. So you can certainly have that. Make sure that all your proteins, though, try to have them as organic as possible, you know, and if that is not possible, then make sure that the proteins you get are as natural, are in their natural state as possible, okay? Because you don't want to go ahead and have like deli meat, for example, because those are loaded with like, you know, even sugars, dude. I was reading the other day and like all these deli meats have like dextrose and all sorts of sodiums that I cannot even pronounce.
Tons of sodium.
Yeah, so you want to stay away from those kind of meats. You want to have everything as natural as possible. The more natural it is, the better it's going to work for you. All right. For dinner time, you can have the same kind of proteins that I just discussed for lunch, and then between dinner and lunchtime, you can have another protein shake. That's what I always advise. Okay, and that'll be it. You know, that way, in that manner, you can go ahead and consume the amount of protein that you need. So if you need 200 grams of protein a day, then you're looking at 5 meals of 40 grams each.
Yeah.
You know, that's how you do it.
It's not hard to do.
No, not hard at all. It just requires a little bit of extra planning. You know, what I like to do is that these days in the morning, when I wake up, all the meals are ready for the rest of the day. That way I have everything, you know, because otherwise it's like, even though I work out at home, I'm so busy that I may skip a meal. And then, you know, if I just need to go by the clock.
Yeah.
If I don't go by the clock, a meal gets missed. So you
can't make it up.
No, exactly. That's it. You missed your meal. That you missed your opportunity for protein.
Yeah, because you can't double up.
No. If you double up, then you're all like bloated and stuff, and then you just don't feel good. So the best way is what I just described over here, and that's it about protein, pretty much. You know. So between 0.8 grams to 1.5. That's our recommendation for protein. All right, and with that said, you know, I hope that you liked this video, and if you did, please click like on the button below and let us know what you think and what other questions you may have. Let us know how many meals you have as well. All right, until next time, take care and train hard.